Hey everybody, it's Cryptobirb'S, and well, today this is going to be kind of like a bit different webinar, everybody, because I'm actually here, broadcasting straight from Dubai, okay? And this is pre-recorded, okay? So I'm going to cover in as interactive way as possible, kind of like the most burning topics I imagine that many of you would like to get covered and answered. Okay, so we're going to go through the BTC updates, through the Ethereum, through Litecoin, through Chainlink, I don't know, EXRD, okay, to kind of like comment on the fresh and the most recent updates and the market movements. We're going to briefly talk about when specifically you could expect the legendary alt season, the ultimate leg up for alts of this bull market rally, okay, ever, probably the biggest ever. And yeah, we're going to get you in all those sweet details. So if you're guys in for the show, make sure you stay tuned and get yourselves ready. Very good. I hope everybody is doing okay. In Dubai, actually, here is like a very, very beautiful weather. It's of course very, very hot for me personally, too hot. But what's the most relevant thing, is that Bitcoin has been kind of like in this PTSD range. Okay, it's been going in this PTSD type of a movement, like this post-traumatic stress disorder, as I call that, for the market. Okay, this happens after the bigger crash when it comes. This is what happens every single time for Bitcoin. The market takes time to recover. Okay, and it definitely has its own impact and influence on what altcoins do. So we're going to briefly go through the most essential altcoins, the most essential charts and setups, okay, to get you like again the most valuable updates. And to start with, let's figure out the BTC charts. Okay, start off from the top down, of course. So let's go for the weekly. Okay, this is my weekly chart, of course, which was predicting bottom here at this very area, this very zone. This is the reason why this area was marked, as it referred to the previous situations where Bitcoin was so undervalued based on the momentum, based on a trend. It was fully reset. And what we saw after is, ever since this undervalued like level for the perfect trend reset, we were observing, I believe, close or more than even 80% recovery. 80% recovery is something that I don't think even was brought in this period. I think it was more about like 60-70% retracement. And ever since, we definitely have been striving uh, upwards, in the upwards direction, pumping, Bitcoin, until the very last week, which saw this violent reaction, this violent rejection, $10,000 drop within a single day, within a couple of hours, which definitely for the moment stopped bulls successfully. Okay. And what we have to know, what we have to realize is that this, first of all, like from the candlestick analysis point of view, definitely looks like a local top. But local top, it doesn't mean that it's like a major big top and we're not going to see all-time highs and so on and so forth. Instead, it tells you that this is a short-term kind of like profit distribution, which is supposed to afterwards give you a good buying opportunity, as we still are here to believe that the fifth wave, the final leg up of the bull market, okay, is missing. This entire part, the most violent, the most vertical, the literally the riskiest, the most profitable part of this market is still ahead, right? Nowhere near like Bitcoin ever noted tops like this one. We would take months to literally go and then just go sideways, right? Bitcoin's tops are usually very blow off topish, right? They don't take like beautiful rounded tops that take five months to complete, right? This would be pretty much like bullshit, and definitely not on the Bitcoin market. This is what may happen on the commodities markets, like food markets, growths, like grains, wheat, oat, and all of that. Okay, soybeans perhaps, but not Bitcoin, which is extremely violent because of the market irrationality, because of uh, the overall market structure per the market demographics. Okay, being like way the average age of crypto trader would be, I guess, somewhere between 20 and 30, versus if you go to, let's say, more of these quote unquote Peter Brandish, markets like grains, like soybeans and everything, then you'd probably see average age of traders like 60, 50, something like that. Like there is a huge gap, okay, of average age of traders, which completes and changes definitely the market demographics, and at the same time the market rationality level. Okay, if you live twice as long, you could assume twice as much experience. Of course, this would vary, right, between the people, but mainly because some will never learn, and age does not always equal like wisdom or or intelligence, which is sad, but that's the way it is. But most importantly, again, you wouldn't see too much of irrational movements like pumps and dumps unless this is a supply shock and there is like fields of corns literally burning because of the fire, wildfires or something. This shrinks the supply, and momentarily this supply shock, this supply shrink, definitely just gets demand per unit, to increase, so pumps the price. But this is not somehow really spotted, for Bitcoin, unless this is like some huge whale, owning millions and billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. I don't know, publicly forgets the seed phrase or the passwords, whatever. That it is just gone lost forever. And this is some sort of like a supply shock, which would take big amount of Bitcoins at one point, out of the supply in circulation with no chances of ever getting it back on the market. Okay, then unless something like this very exotic and like improbable case happens, uh then unless that happens, then Bitcoin is not due to have the supply shocks. And because of that, this blow off tops, type of like blow off tops, or the reverse idea, the opposite idea of the depression capitulation spikes, capitulation candles, capitulation sell-offs, depressions, no matter how you call that. These are like the two opposite ends. The blow off top all coming from the irrationality in the upwards direction, and the capitulation coming from the irrationality in the downwards direction, right? I do hope it makes perfect sense, everybody. You may notice again that this local top, it does not, in my concept, in my thesis, does not really invalidate the long-term bullishness. As a matter of fact, it's supposed to provide you with a good buying opportunity, okay? So this orange curve is a 50-week moving average. This tells you about the 50-week average price of Bitcoin, okay, which is supposed to be fair, which is your main reference point, because anytime you know that the price action, the price of Bitcoin momentarily is above its average price, it tells that it's more, it's closer to this overvalued state, right? When it's way below, like here, or it was in here, or even it was power moment in here, this every single time, that the price action is below its average price, then this is short term or medium term undervalued signal. Okay, the market being undervalued, that's what you want to buy, because that's what the average like relationship tells you. Okay, Bitcoin is below its average, which means it's cheap, and when it's above its average, it means it's momentarily expensive. The higher and the bigger the distance of deviation against the average, the more significant the potential swing play. Okay, the more you should actually just make decisions about it, right? You could tell that the distance, was growing for quite a long period of time, right? Until you saw this local major distribution process, of course. And well, same way in here, that the larger this deviation against its average, is the larger it gets, the better buy signal it is, right? So here again, you can tell that there was definitely some fluctuations in the distance, right? The distance was changing against its average, and the bigger the distance is on the downside direction, the better buying opportunity. The bigger the distance on the upside above its average, the better selling opportunity. Okay, not necessarily shorting. I wouldn't recommend shorts in the bull market. I will leave shorts for the bear market instead. So because we mean there is a mean reversion, and everybody, for if you just joined, the very premiere of the stream, of this video, of this webinar, I had recorded a couple of times. This is all on our YouTube account, make sure you actually hit the subscribe button, go ahead and smash the likes, just you have your notifications on, because we keep getting you every single day new video tutorial, new trading tutorial, new trading instructions, new trading insights. Okay, for everybody it's free. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. You just want to join as a subscriber to this free community on YouTube, which is lovely. But the point I want to get to is that I was talking about the overall importance of the mean reversion. Okay, we know that the prices tend to oscillate around their means, and because of that, you can oscillate and act like the price will oscillate around the average, and whatever it goes up above the average, it will go down as well eventually after some time. This is a regular accumulation distribution cycle, or the like microcycles, if you will. This is how the market oscillates and fluctuates. Okay, this is the very nature of the financial cycles of the financial markets. They move in cycles. And so at one point, the mean reversion is due to come. Okay, is due. And here, even if you extrapolate it, you just take some straight line, okay, to get you the potential extrapolation of where you could expect if Bitcoin doesn't change any like extraordinary movements, doesn't bring any extraordinary movements, then you could expect this average to maintain its direction, to maintain its angle. Okay, remembering still that this is a logarithmic curve. But most importantly, what it means is that after some time, you can actually just go in future and try to predict the fair prices of Bitcoin, assuming that nothing really changes too much, right? So that it makes sense for Bitcoin to right now actually have the average price, okay, of $38,000. This is the 50-week average price. The fair price of Bitcoin based on long-term moving average analysis tells you that the average price, the fair price, is $38,000. So you could expect at one point for Bitcoin to reach, even for a moment, even for 5 minutes inside 1 week or two, okay, no matter what's happening inside the week, but you could expect some candle, going literally down there to this region. Okay, not going to tell you what the candle is, if it is like some candle literally with a tiny shadow just reaching down below. Okay, it may happen. All that I know is that for one moment, I expect Bitcoin to touch and retest its mean, to revert to the mean. And when you get it, just like you got it in here, or even when it gets below, just like here, the old concept assumes, which is likely in case of some unpredicted FUD or whatever you name that. Okay, then you could anticipate Bitcoin to get you very, very solid and probably the last buying opportunity of this bull market before the final leg up starts and before the major pumps occur. Okay, so hope everybody this is clear so far. And before we move to another charts, because there are so many, I definitely want to get you a very quick just look on the lower time frames as well. Okay, that Bitcoin has been richly being for the past days inside this PTSD region. Okay, this PTSD region, which are usually kind of like classified into in two categories, or I should say in two free periods, maybe, okay, phases, if you will. Now, the PTSD as the post-traumatic stress disorder, that's the abbreviation, what it stands for. It always happens because the market sees unpredicted news, unpredicted crash, unpredicted market reaction that literally clashes and liquidates tons of money. Okay, I believe that this crash alone, like it took a couple of hours. It just literally happened. This is 1 hour like 1 4-hour candle. It means that all this dump, all this 15-20% dump, which is, by the way, something I had been warning of about 4 weeks before it happened. This wiped out about $4 billion as far as I can recall. Okay, so lots of traders woke up liquidated, and they went into the denial. They did disbelief and denied the fact that they go liquidated. So the market, which is created out of people, okay, which is constructed out of people as an institution, it takes time to recover. Okay, and it takes time to go through the phases. First, you would have the phase of irrational noise, complete lack of direction. the market being literally clueless, having no idea, kind of like still in coma, not knowing what happened, analyzing why it happened, why people wondering why it happened to them. Like, is it the government's fault? Is it like, somebody wants them to fail or other bullshit, right? Then after some time, this denial is actually broken. It's recovered, and there's like some more rationality, quote unquote, appearing in the market back, and the market starts trending. Okay, so this kind of like a chart pattern, if you will, um, is very very similar to what you saw, okay, in the Maze crash. Right now, you are seeing this price action kind of like curving, back, curving, in this local topish, I should say, topish formula, or bull flag, if you will. No matter what it is some kind of like a local break, local time out, for bulls. Okay, well, ideally, this would be supposed to be held, okay, which is pretty much not. So, uh, like, it's not because the bulls are not in full control. The market is not fully trending. It is PTSD range mode. Okay, you can tell that this level is actually defined by the hourly level as the fell, like the $49,000 is the fair first ceiling defined by the upside pullback right after the crash happened. Okay, so see this. Okay, this is the very high of the kind of like recovery candle. So this and this define the range high and the range low extremes. Okay, and as I said, like the average price is anchored, the volume-weighted average prices, which are the two curves in here. Okay, one is anchored at the very peak right before the crash, and the other is anchored at the very local bottom extreme low defined by the crash low as well. These give you very similar data, saying that 46.3, 46.5.6, okay, is what you should be paying the most attention to, is like your local support. So you could expect this market to give you some sort of like, dips somewhere in the region for 60, like 40, 46.3, 46.6, something like that. This is the average price of Bitcoin based on volume, the fair price of Bitcoin based on volume. So again, because of the cyclicality, because of the mean reversion, and it is kind of like likely for you to expect Bitcoin to get you the reload, somewhere in the low to mid 46,000s, right? And perhaps if the market is strong enough, this would show you the following up breakout into this like breakout target zone, because eventually this is the breakout target zone. Okay, like this range breakout, okay, based on volume, based on like, even if you go to the other, forms of analysis, okay, you could see that this 50,402 is the level which was there right before right before this micro crash happened. So it's very important from its technical point of view. Then once cleared, it's actually resulted in this major drop. So it had to be like some very significant level for bulls. So now once flipped to the resistance side, it's significant levels to defend by bears. Okay, and on top of that, this local support, kind of like was broken with the crash, but then the candle closed above, which means that it added the certainty to the side that anything between like what was that, 42.8 and actually 46.6 was to be the demand zone. This was bought, okay, on this 12-hour time frame candle, and anything above was pretty much like anything below was short-term good buying opportunity. And we also have, the longer term, more like that, the more relevant, the stronger support as well, defined by the two average AVUPs, like anchored volume weighted average prices. First of all, one is anchored at the all-time highs, which is the longer term AVUP, which is this, giving the support at 42.10187, and the other, which is defined by the final leg up, okay, which I'd managed happily to like pinpoint to the very bottom, to the very very candle bottom, saying literally that was buying like more than $300,000, just adding for the long term and really willing to liquidate the profits, to realize the profits before the bull market ends. So This was the final bottom, and this kind of like, for me is very important because this marked this entire breakout rally, okay, towards like $53,000. And knowing that there's still major like $59,000 region not really tested, and being matter of time until it gets tested, we are looking for some supports to load the dips, in my opinion, the way I read it. And the first A view up from the all-time highs anchored, it tells you that this entire period, okay, of Bitcoin, ever since the all-time high, the average price, the fair price of Bitcoin is 43,853. Okay, which with these two averages near being located one near another, just gives you the demand zone. This is the demand zone we could expect in case this local support of 46.6 gets broken. Then you could expect the follow through, kind of like perhaps, and again sweeping the lows, testing low 42,000, getting the trapping the burst for the final time, and getting the final rally towards like high 50s. That is something that is very likely, in my opinion. Okay, condition for 43,000, okay, to visit that is of course breaking and closing the day or a week some high time frame candle below 46.6. That would be quite likely. Okay, and on top of that, if we go for the like literally the Bollinger Bands analysis, which is the volatility indicator, you can tell that we are right now at the very resistance based, the very volatility based resistance. Okay, Bitcoin is resisting to go higher based on its volatility. The average volatility is right now telling you that Bitcoin is supposed to trade in range somewhere like on average between 44, I don't know, 44.5 and eventually 48.5, if you will. So the average expected like volatility for Bitcoin to pursue is $4,000 kind of like a region, $4,000 range. Okay, this is what the Bollinger Bands tell you on average that Bitcoin would be supposed to do. So if Bitcoin manages somehow to defend the lows of 46, 47 and breaks out instead of this local bull flag, perhaps after the retest of low mid of 46,000, then it would mean it would give you the breakout, the volatility breakout, the average, the short-term volatility exceeding the average volatility. Okay, the breaking above its short-term, its medium-term volatility, and telling you that the Bitcoin's trend, the Bitcoin's upwards buying pressure is stronger than the bears, if you will. Okay, and this could be additional reason for us to believe the 50,000, at least 50,000, 51,000 for the short term is definitely on the table. And if depending on what happens in this local distribution, just like I said for this very candle, before the crash happened, just what happens, depending on what happens in this area, if this is like bears that like take the advantage, or bulls are stronger with a weekly close either above and through 51,000, or heavy rejection and go back to like 45 or whatever, then we could then expect high 50,000s, like I said, like 58, 60,000 region we tested, or perhaps those 42, 43,000s. Okay, so two biggest scenarios for your better understanding. And everybody, because Bitcoin is definitely like one of the most important assets probably right now on the planet, like top list, of the market cap and whatnot. Like top, I cannot remember, like top 10 or something like that. It's irrelevant completely, because what matters is that it defines and gives the narrative for the altcoins and for the rest of the crypto market as well, of course. So let's get a very, very quick look at the fear and greed index, everybody, okay? Let's give it a look. Let's give it a go. Right now, you can tell that the crowd is literally, is neutral, right? That's what it says. The crowd is neutral. Yes, last week it was in fear. It was actually like 30 points on a scale. Okay, it was like close to the on the verge of fear to extreme fear. It was definitely like fearful after the crash happened. And remember what I always say and suggest: the crowd is always right in the middle of trend, but they're always wrong about anticipating the extremes. For this reason, you could always take, whenever the market just makes extreme movements like this, extreme crash or extreme pump, you can literally go to the fear and greed index and check what crowds think. If they are extremely greedy, this is time to take profits. If they are extremely fearful, this is time to load the dips, And this, of course, like extreme fear crash, literally down to um, down to what was that, like 30, right? Fear and greed index. This is what definitely brought, you know uh, the market shift for the sentiment, which turned the market from heavily overexposed, over leveraged market, right, while wiping out, liquidating $4 billion worth of bitcoins, pretty much like just out of the market. Okay, down to 30 points, down to 30 points on a fear and greed scale. This is yeah, this made very quick shift from the extremely greedy market to the extremely fearful. Okay, and knowing of that, again, the crowds are always wrong at the extremes, everybody. Okay, let's have a very quick look at the NUPL, okay, which is my favorite top indicator, favorite, on-chain analytics kind of like tool for me that I use to anticipate the high time from reversals in the market. And you can tell that this bull market, we have not seen the like NUPL index, the ratio crossing the blue area, which is euphoria, which is pretty much like telling you that the like 0.75 ratio of the net realized profit versus the entire market cap, okay, well was pretty much like just not touched this bull market. Okay, always ever in the every bull market, always before the bull market was reversed, or like heavily overexposed, heavily leveraged, much money was laying on the table, over 0.75 NUPL ratio, and this is the topping area. Whenever this gets you 7.75, or be like the higher the more top is in, let's say, on the scale, right? And we have not seen so far this bull market, which started in here, we have not seen really um well, anything, anything in this region. Okay, anything in this region. So what it means, everybody, is that we could still anticipate the market to get highly over leveraged, highly over exposed, highly certain, highly euphoric and greedy. Okay, whenever we get 0.75 broken through. Okay, if the market gives you 0.75 or higher, I'm quite certain, everybody, this is going to be the end of the bull market. It would take time. It would take some time. It's not going to be able to like literally pinpoint the very top or very bottom. Oh, sorry, like either way, the very top or very bottom. You can use that for the tops and for the bottoms. It's not going to give you like crystal ball perfect pinpoint date in time and hour, of the reversal. But what it may tell you is that, okay, in these next 2 weeks, in this next couple of days, I'm getting all my money out of crypto, right? Or I'm getting 80% of my profits, which were unrealized before, out of crypto and moving into some other assets, just like I would do, for gold, silver, or real estate and whatnot. Okay. Uh, what else, everybody? I do believe we can have a look at the very brief comparison. What happens on the other markets, for like Ethereum. Let's have a look. Actually, um, let's have a look. And before we go and dive, to the Ethereum, I want to show you very quick, this chart of answering you when the major alt season comes, right? You can tell that this is crypto market cap excluding BTC. So the market cap of altcoins, which is the black curve, and the Bitcoin's chart, which is the orange curve. Okay, so we can tell that whenever Bitcoin peaked in with the all-time highs, it took about a month for the altcoins to peak. So it means that the moment that the Bitcoin was crashing, you can tell that the altcoins were gaining in strength. So the capital flowing out of Bitcoin was flowing in, was literally flowing into altcoin market. Okay, and again, from the technical point of view, what it matters here and what is significant for you is that there is some lag, there is some time span, that altcoins would take. Like I explained it before, like when you spill the milk, and the milk is literally like the market cap, the money in the market. When you spill the milk, it takes time until it just spreads across the table. It takes time until it spreads across the markets, across the altcoins. Okay, so whenever Bitcoin peaks, you see blow off top on Bitcoin, and I would expect Bitcoin to be probably like 2-3x from here I do believe $90 to $120,000 is potential like target for us to anticipate. And what is relevant again is that it is places the entire market cap of altcoins right now proportionally larger, just based on the BTC evaluation. If it gives 2-3x from here, the altcoins would also give 2-3x from here based on the very simple connections, but between altcoins and Bitcoin. But then they would probably pull additional couple of X's on top of that. So I would expect this is potentially likely that you would see like Bitcoin, pumping 2-3x and altcoins pumping literally like 5x from here or 10x from here or even more, right? I don't really have a crystal ball, so I'm not going to tell you what is going to happen with the perfect day in time, just like I said, but I do expect. All I know for sure, is that altcoins take time, just like you spill the milk over the table, it takes time to spread across the table. So same way, if Bitcoin blows off, if it gives the blow off top, right, then it will take time for the capital to slowly migrate, or rapidly, more or less rapidly, but slowly still migrate, and take a couple of days or weeks to migrate and pump the altcoin market because of increased demand and the same supply. So Bitcoin, when it peaks to 2-3x, it would take time for altcoins, just like it took it with the peak in here and peak in here. It would take about a couple of weeks, and this couple of weeks of waiting after Bitcoin tops and altcoins are there, this capital is saturated with money. This would be legendary alt season. Okay, this would be this legendary 2-5 weeks period that you would see every single altcoin pumping 10x or 20x or even 100x. Okay, some of them. But this is the time that you want to be practically just heavy, realized for your profit. Okay, and make sure you actually just realize the risk of it. The risk is high. The higher the reward, the higher the risk. And let's give a very, very brief moment to analyze perhaps. Yes, potential targets for Litecoins. Right now, you can tell the Litecoin's price is $180. Okay, and and as a matter of fact, like it's somewhere midway through, it's like 100% 2x from its all-time highs, and at the same time it's literally at its all-time lows, practically at its all-time lows based on Bitcoin's valuation. So Litecoin against BTC is as weak as it ever got. Okay, so it means that based on, let's say, very simple calculations, it's like 2x 100% or 100% plus to the all-time highs, just to retest it in case Bitcoin goes 2x, then it would go like literally to $400. And then you have to get the all-time highs peaks, you have 2x and 5x in profit just to make it equal relationship of Litecoin catching up with Bitcoin for its relationship for the strength. Okay, just to retest 2018 highs before the bear market came in for good. So 2x with 5x on top, it tells me that Litecoin can make like approximately 10x from here. So 10x from $180, I think the $1,000 is easy in there. When the bull market ends, the $1,000 is easy. And 10x from 180 is 1,800, if you ask me. All right. Then, of course, very good, signal, long-term buy signal, long-term confirmation of bullish trend for DeFi as an entire signal, as an entire industry, as an entire index for DeFi index perpetual futures of FTX. So long-term confirmation of pretty much of what I am saying as well for the mainstream altcoins, for not DeFi altcoins, but same reason to believe final leg up coming there. Just the same way I explained why Litecoin may pull literally up, pull out this 1800s. The same reason I explained why Ethereum could reach like $18,000 to $24,000. Same way, okay, same way. It's there, between $3,000 and $4,000 somewhere near very all-time highs, and it's still like highly undervalued, for Bitcoin, like against Bitcoin. So if you even open up the chart, okay, Ethereum BTC, and then what you're going to notice, okay, I think this is the old chart, but if we go for Ethereum USD, right, then we are going to get is well, first of all, it's close in this all-time high areas, just like I said, 3,500, and it's still 2x, and it's still 2x to just to tap the highs of the bull market of 2018. Okay, of 2017 ratio, if you will, as well, 2018, whatever. So still 2x, and if Bitcoin pulls 2-3x, then Ethereum pulls 2-3x on top of 3,400s. Okay, so 2-3x places it's already somewhere approximately to $10,000, and then you still have the Ethereum to follow up and catch up with Bitcoin, okay, which is going to give you literally like additional boost 2x from here. So 3, 4, 6x is kind of likely. Okay, 6x from these levels places it well above $20,000. So same reason, and same reason as well is if we pull the link chain chart before I need to wrap the show up, everybody. You're going to notice that again, like right now, it is the Chainlink Bitcoin chart, okay? But if we go for Chainlink USD, okay, you're going to tell that we are right now, in this $28, okay, and $20. If a Bitcoin pulls 2-3x, it pulls 28 times 2-3x as well. So it's already placing it somewhere in the $80 to $100 region, and if you put additional BTC kind of like relationship, it gives you 2x on top of that, or even 3x. Okay, so 3x on top of 3x is like 9x, which makes me think that 30 like somewhere between $200 and $300 for Chainlink is not even like highly like impossible, if you ask me. Okay, and same reason I do believe that like the XRD, the radix is supposed to pull like 20x or something. Okay, so we covered Bitcoin, we covered Ethereum, we covered Litecoin, we covered Chainlink, we covered pretty much like very briefly for a moment the XRD. Okay, we covered when the alt season is supposed to come. In my opinion, just to give you the final kind of like short answer, this is late Q4 when it's all starting to give you the final leg up vibes, the final bull market blow off top. So late December, early January, mid-January is something that I expect the final ultimate alt season to happen. We'll come back and revisit this video after this time. And everybody, I need to be wrapping this show at this moment, but I want to give you with the giveaway. Every single week, we do the giveaway for you guys. And if you want to get the free membership for the Birb Nest, okay, make sure you actually go and sign up for the free trial, which is there in the upper right corner. Sign up free. Okay, everybody, sign up free. And well, if you go and sign up free for the free membership, put your email address, your name, our system is automatically going to tell you all the instructions and sign you up. Okay, make sure you follow the instructions carefully. But what's important is that we want to grow our YouTube account. Okay, so we want to grow our YouTube account. There's like 25,000 subscribers almost. There's like 24. We want to give it a definite boost. And if you enjoyed this, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit that smash the likes buttons, leave some kind comments, set your notifications on, everybody. And the giveaway, free membership, free 1 month of exclusive Nest Club, which is well over $100 value. This is going to be your chance to get another win, okay, for following the steps. And the steps are as follow. Very briefly, I'll leave after this show ends in one minute. I'll let you know about the giveaway steps. Make sure, you guys, you stay tuned for it. Okay, don't disconnect, don't detach just yet. For the chance to win well over $100 benefits and values of belonging to the Birb Nest community ever since 2017, one of the largest and the most successful communities of this type probably around the world right now. And everybody, it's been Adrian, Cryptobirb'S, speaking straight from Dubai. I hope you appreciated it. Hope it's helped you find some different base and ideas comparison for your own concepts. Stay tuned, everybody. The giveaway is coming. I appreciate you and love you all. God bless. Bye-bye.